Good afternoon. Hello, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Good afternoon. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, my law firm helps immigrants all over the United States to secure their future in America through asylum. Already got Mike Johnson saying hello, good evening on YouTube. Good evening, Mike. Good to see you. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to answer your questions. This is the Asylum Answer Show where I'm going to answer questions about winning asylum in the United States. That's what my law firm does every day. We just do asylum. It's not an immigration law firm. It's an asylum law firm because asylum is what we do all day, every day. If you want to learn about getting asylum in the United States, then you're in the right place because I'm going to answer your questions about it today. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an ex-asylum officer. I'm a current asylum lawyer. Hello, where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments. Say hello. Let me see where you're watching from. We got Damasai. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Hello. We got Terrence. We got Queen BMP. We got Vote Blue. Hello, Florence Adebai. Good evening. We got Oni Rakula on YouTube from Sacramento. Yeah, let me see where you're watching from. I'd like to hear where you guys are at. We got a lot of clients in the Sacramento area, a lot in Northern California. We're based in Texas, but listen, it doesn't matter. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. We have a lot of clients in Texas because that's where we are, but we got a lot in California. We got a lot in Florida, New York, around Chicago, around Atlanta, North and South Carolina, everywhere in between, Denver. I'm going to take your questions about asylum in the United States. But before I do that, I want to say a couple words about this. Hey, good to see you. I'm going to say a couple words about this topic. We've got Huds Wallace watching from Seattle. We've got Mo says hello, Atlanta. We got Adnan says hi from California. We got Harshib, sorry for the mispronunciation, says hello from New York. Lots of folks tuning in, lots of questions already. Yeah, let me know what questions you have, but I want to say a couple of words about this first. There are situations in which it is unethical to apply for asylum. I think that it is unethical, you can even call it immoral, to apply for asylum if you don't really fear being harmed in your country. Now, there are some people who take it a step farther, including some immigration lawyers who will tell you that they think it's unethical and strategically unwise to apply for asylum if you have a very low chance for success, like you don't have a strong case. I think that's incorrect, and I think, well, let me approach it like this. I think that whether it is ethical and whether it is advisable, like smart, strategically a good idea, are two separate questions, all right? I think that as long as you are afraid of being harmed in your country, that it is perfectly ethical to apply for asylum. But then you also need to assess whether it's smart, whether it is in your best long-term interests in line with your particular goals for your immigration situation. All right. But I want to talk about two specific scenarios where I think that it can really make sense to apply for asylum and it is ethical to do so, even though you expect to lose your case at the asylum office. One concerns the 1-year filing deadline. If you haven't applied for asylum and you've been here for more than a year and you're thinking, I might want to apply for asylum, but I've been here for more than a year, so I'm probably going to be barred from asylum by the 1-year filing deadline. And I don't, and you don't qualify for an exception. So you're like, okay, I'm going to explain my case and hopefully I'll win, but I don't really expect to win at the asylum office because of the 1-year filing deadline. But otherwise, let's say in this hypothetical that you've got a really strong case. Like you're really confident that you meet all the requirements for asylum except for you didn't file during your first year. Well, in that case, for some people, it may make sense to go ahead and apply with the asylum office knowing that you're not going to win there and you're going to get put in deportation proceedings in immigration court. Why would that make sense? Well, in immigration court, the judge can give you something that the asylum officer cannot give you over at the asylum office. At the asylum office, it's asylum or nothing. In immigration court, the judge can give you asylum, but they can also give you another form of relief called something called withholding of removal. This withholding of removal is not as good as asylum because it does not It doesn't create a route for you to eventually get a green card. You can't bring people here on it, family members. You can't travel outside of the country and come back. So it's not near as good as asylum, but it allows you to stay here and it allows you to work legally. And some people really, really value that. Some people hate being sort of in the shadows with absolutely nothing going on with an immigration case, and they want to get withholding of removal. They'd rather have that, which actually does involve having a deportation order on your record. But the judge is like, we're not going to execute that deportation order. We're not going to actually deport you because you qualify for this thing called withholding of removal. That, again, allows you to stay here and to work legally. And so the bottom line is that you can't get that at the asylum office, but you can get it in immigration court. But you can't just go directly to immigration court and apply for it. It doesn't work that way. You can't, and you also cannot just ask, hey, can I be in deportation proceedings? Can I just be in immigration court so that I can seek withholding of removal? Nope, doesn't work like that. You have to be put into deportation proceedings by the Department of Homeland Security. And a way that they do that is if you get a negative decision on your asylum case and you don't have legal immigration status at the moment that is given, that negative decision is made, well, they put you in deportation proceedings. Now, I think it would be unethical to apply for asylum if you did not fear being harmed in your country, okay? But if you fear being harmed in your country, you think you've got a solid case except for the 1-year filing deadline is the problem, then for some people, it makes sense. It may make sense, at least I'll say that, to apply anyway, knowing you're probably not going to win at the asylum office, but you believe that you're going to possibly have a good chance of winning withholding of removal because the 1-year filing deadline does not apply to withholding of removal. Okay, it's not a bar to getting withholding of removal. If you meet all the other requirements for asylum, or at least the judge thinks you do, then you will get withholding of removal even though you did not apply for asylum during your first year in the United States, okay? So the other scenario is, actually, I'm going to stop there. We're going to leave it there with that one scenario. For me, the bottom line is, it is, as long as I believe that you truly fear being harmed in your country, I think it's ethically permissible, morally acceptable to apply for asylum, even if you think, even if it looks like your chances for success are very low. We personally, at my law firm, we don't help people apply for asylum if we think their chances are zero, like zero chance for success. But a weak case, a case that is weak, as long as you, asylum seeker, understand that your case is weak and that we assess that your chances for success are low, if you understand that and you understand the risks and you understand that you could end up getting deported, then we're willing to fight. If we think that we can make a difference and help you to increase your chances for success, we can really, add value to your case, then we're willing to go forward with those cases, and we win some of them. All right, we win some of them. Even cases that other lawyers have said, no, I don't think you can win. We win some of them because I think we're good at what we do. We work really hard. We've got sophisticated, smart people working really hard on these cases, and it's all we do all day, every day as asylum. I think we've gotten good at it, and we're going to keep getting better and better and better. All right, sorry. Important. One more thing. I want to tell you a scenario where I think it is unethical to apply for asylum. So we talked a second ago about applying for asylum basically as a means to ultimately try to get withholding of removal in immigration court. Sometimes people apply for asylum with USCIS as a means to try to get into immigration court so they can seek something called cancellation of removal. This is different than withholding of removal. Now we're talking about something called cancellation of removal. This thing called cancellation of removal, it is not based on a fear of being harmed in your country. It has nothing to do with that. Therefore, I think that if you apply for asylum and you're not afraid of being harmed in your country, but you're doing it just so you can get an immigration court, so you can apply for cancellation of removal, I think that's unethical. I think it's not a good idea. I think it's not smart strategically, but I also think it's an unethical, inadvisable thing to do. And in fact, immigration lawyers have gotten in trouble for helping clients do that before, saying, you know what? You've been here. We think you meet most of the requirements for cancellation of removal, but you can only seek that in court. You can't just apply for that sort of outside of the court context. Therefore, as a way to get you into court, we're going to do this asylum application, even though you might not even fear being harmed in your country. We're going to do that so you'll get referred over to the immigration court, and then you can apply for cancellation of removal. I'm against that. I think that's a bad idea. All right, enough of my editorializing and moralizing about ethics. Let's get to your questions about winning asylum in the United States. I'm going to start with YouTube, but before I do, listen, if you want to talk with one of my teammates, one of my colleagues about winning asylum in the United States, and have us look at your situation and tell you what we think, tell you whether we think that we're in a position to help you to increase your chances for asylum success, then go to winasylum.com. This is the webpage where you can book a consultation with us. WINASYLUM.com. Winasylum.com. Currently, they're free. Actually, most of them are free. With my colleagues, they're free. I don't normally do consultations. I'm doing some right now, though. And if you want to talk with me personally, there is a fee. There's a cost to do that. Right now, it's $350. Starting in January, if I keep doing them at all, personally, it's going to go up to $450. But right now, it's $350 if you want to talk with me personally. My teammates, though, are amazing. You'll be in great hands with them. And right now, those are free. So if you want to talk with us about your situation and see whether we think that we're in a position to help you, go to winasylum.com and schedule a consultation now. There's not that many spots open. Listen, there's massive demand right now. People are rightfully concerned about Trump, about the Trump effect. And so our calendars are full. People are scheduling consultations left and right. So if you want to get one of those spots, you need to hurry. Go right now. Don't wait. Go literally right now. Go over to winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. All right. Let us go to the questions. We've got... Oh, this is an interesting Adnan. Very good question. We had a consultation yesterday with a Syrian where we were discussing this. All right. Your second question, Adnan, basically, can someone get a green card through EB2 if they don't have someone on asylum pending get a green card through EB2 if they don't have another status? I don't know. Not my area. Listen. I'm going to address both of your questions, but I want to do it like this. The question, I'm going to do the second one first. The question is this: can you get an EB2 status while your asylum application is pending? Lots of asylum applicants think, what other status can I get? Are there other routes besides asylum to possibly get long-term immigration status in the United States? And a very popular one is this status called EB2. This question comes up all the time. I don't know. I'm not in a position to advise you about it. Why? I just do asylum. My law firm, Political Asylum Lawyers, what we do is asylum. We do asylum all day, every day. If you want to get certainty or at least confidence or at least good guidance about any other immigration status, talk to an immigration lawyer who focuses on that exact problem, all right? If it's family-based or if it's employment or investment-based, talk to an immigration lawyer who focuses on that. If you want to talk about asylum, we're here for you, all right? You can schedule a consultation at winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. All right, so Adnan, the short answer is I'm not the person to advise anyone on that. All right. But let's address the other question about what would happen to a Syrian who applied for asylum after the fall of the Assad regime. Oh, after. Oh, that's interesting. I thought you were going to say before. Okay. Let's approach the question though like this. This is the question. What's going to happen to Syrian asylum seekers now that the Assad regime has fallen? Well, it's hard to say. It's definitely going to have an impact. All right. People that already applied based on, bad things that have happened from the Assad regime or fear of future harm vis-a-vis the Assad regime, it changes, right? Because they're no longer in power. They're literally gone. Now you've got this new organization that appears is going to sort of act as a government. And we don't know what they're going to do. We know that they're a splinter from a group from Al-Qaeda. So that doesn't sound good. but they've been making some of the right noises about respecting human rights and whatnot. So we'll see. But yeah, it changes things. Someone applying after, possibly from Syria, applying now, it's tricky. It's going to be tricky. We should talk about it in detail in a consultation. Okay. So the bottom line though, Adnan, is that it's going to be impossible probably to tell for a while what it will mean, what the fall of the Assad regime will mean to Syrian asylum seekers, and how the new government is going to be. But I think that there will still be probably some good cases from Syria. Remember, in some cases, you can win asylum based just on what happened to you in the past, irrespective of whether you have a well-founded fear of future persecution. Okay. But listen, it's a case-by-case thing. We should talk about it. You should do that in an asylum strategy session with me or one of my colleagues, which you can schedule at the URL winasylum.com. Type in winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. Winasylum.com. All right, next question. Who else we got? Hello, good evening. Yes, nice. How about Pennsylvania? Whoever that is. Whatever that symbol is. Good to see you. Thanks for joining from Pennsylvania. We got Alfian89 says hello from Seattle. Lovely city. Beautiful city. We got Malik Bully. Sorry for the mispronunciation. On Facebook says hello. Hello. We got Usman. Hey, Usman. Thanks for being here. Kamran Malik says, I'm expecting to receive a work permit at the end of February. Shall apply on the 1st of February. Do you think I'm in trouble due to the new administration, or it shall be processed? Good question. Getting a call there. The question is this: are you going to have trouble getting your work permit application processed once Trump takes over? So listen, I have not heard Trump or his people say they're going to go after work permits of asylum seekers. Try to just do away with them, take them away or anything. But I wouldn't be surprised if they slow down processing of them, to be honest with you. They may change the duration of their validity. Remember, it used to be 2 years. You had to renew every 2 years. Now it's 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they change it back to 2 or maybe even 1. Because look, they want to make it as painful as possible. They want asylum seekers to give up, and they want to discourage people from coming here from seeking asylum because it'll be so hard. So the answer is, I don't know of anything concrete yet that's planned. So hopefully it won't be anytime soon, but there may be problems. Okay. All right. Sorry to not have better news on that. But listen, we're going to have a lot of bad news. I'm going to have a lot of bad news answers for the next 4 years. All right. But we got to be tough. We got to be resilient. You got to keep, you got to keep pushing. Wilmer says, don't you have Instagram? Wilmer, yep, en español. Tenemos Instagram en español, y YouTube y TikTok en español también. Speaking of YouTube, listen, for you guys on Facebook, everyone on TikTok, go over to YouTube. Go to YouTube. That's where all my best stuff is. On YouTube, I've got some really detailed trainings, some full-length tutorials about various topics around asylum that are going to help you to win your case. They're going to help you increase your chances for success. And people come on here all the time on YouTube in the comments and say that, hey, they say, hey, Brian, I won my asylum case recently. I didn't hire you, but I watched your tutorials and they really helped me, which makes me very happy, even though they didn't hire us. Look, not everyone is in a position to hire a lawyer. We're expensive. We cost our law firm. We charge more than most immigration lawyers for an asylum case. I think we do a whole lot more and provide a whole lot more value. But listen, not everyone can afford it. And I'm really happy that our resources, the lives like you're watching now, this Asylum Answers show can be helpful. But listen, if you want to really get the best help, go to YouTube and search for Political Asylum Lawyers. That's the name of the channel on YouTube, Political Asylum Lawyers. And there, you're going to find tons of detailed, videos from just news updates, things about what's going on in the world of immigration, stuff like that. But also some really detailed, specific trainings about specific issues that you need to know about. Alireza Garib says, hi, Brian. I'm excited to become your client. Great. Have you done a consultation yet? That's the first step. Go to winasylum.com to schedule the consultation. WINASYLUM.com. If country conditions change after winning asylum, would it affect the green card application afterward, like Syrians now? Good question. That's a really good question. The question is this. Let's say you win asylum, and then when you go to apply for your green card, at that time, things have changed in your country. Maybe conditions have improved such that, it looks like maybe it's not so risky, not so dangerous for you now back in your country. Will this fact that there's been a change of conditions affect you and maybe mean that you get denied for your permanent residency application, your green card? Probably not. No, probably not. Almost certainly not. This is not, they don't go back at that stage, at the green card application stage. The officer does not go back and reassess whether you qualify for asylum. They will come through your file and see if they see any inconsistencies with the things in your green card application packet and the stuff from your asylum case. But they don't go back and say, oh, we don't think you qualify anymore because of a change in circumstances. At least historically, they haven't done that. Under Trump, who knows? I hope they won't. I don't think they will, but we'll see. Okay? I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think you should worry about it. Okay? I don't want you to stress. I don't want you to worry about it. All right? Why are decisions taking longer from the date of the interview, says Huds Wallace. Here's the question. Is it true that it's taking longer than it used to for the asylum officers to issue the decision in a case after the asylum interview? There's no data on this. There's no publicly available data on how long it takes. Just anecdotally, based on what we see, since we have lots and lots and lots of asylum clients, no, I don't think it's taking longer now than in the past. I don't think so. But listen, here's the thing. If you have been waiting, if you applied for asylum 3 or more years ago, you may be in a position to sue the government to force them to give you your decision. Okay, this Mandamus lawsuit that I love talking about and I love doing, I love suing the government. It works not just to force your interview to be scheduled, but also force them to give you a decision. If you applied for asylum at least 3 years ago, you may be in a position to benefit. All right? We should talk. All right. All right. So, all right. So Asterisk Alliance says, hey, I applied for asylum 2 years ago. What's the time requirement for the lawsuit? So the question is this. How long do you need to wait before you file a Mandamus lawsuit to force USCIS to finally give you your long overdue asylum interview? So listen, there's no set time frame. There's no rule that says you got to wait this long or that you should wait this long. But we've been doing this a bunch recently at my law firm. We filed over 100 of these lawsuits in the last, maybe year and a half, and it works extremely well. In fact, we haven't lost one of these cases yet. Listen, past performance does not guarantee future results, okay? But I say this to emphasize that it's a very powerful tool that you should consider using. But at what point? We think 3 years is the minimum wait time. 3 years everywhere except Los Angeles. Los Angeles Asylum Office right now, we're saying you got to be waiting 5 years since you applied. Everywhere else in the country, our threshold right now is 3 years since you applied for asylum, and then you're probably going to have success with the lawsuit. Okay? All right. Oh, we got Magar Mani joining. He says, hi, I'm from Nepal. Nice. We have quite a few Nepali clients. We've got 23 Drone View says New Jersey. What's up in New Jersey? Thanks for joining. We got Raheem Denver says joining in from New York. The greatest city in the world, as they say in the musical Rent. Oh, no, sorry. Hamilton. Rent is set in New York as well. Love that musical, but that's Hamilton. Magar says, I'm from Nepal and I want to do asylum. What is the right time? Good question. So the question is this. How long should you wait to apply for asylum after arriving in the United States? Listen, sometimes I hear people say, oh, you should wait at least 6 months, or you should wait maybe 10 or 11 months after you arrived here before applying for asylum. I could not disagree more. Listen, I think the sooner that you apply for asylum, the better. The sooner that you have your case heard and get to explain your case, I think the better for your chances of actually winning your case. Also, I think it looks better in the eyes of the asylum officer when someone gets here and then, within a month or two after arriving, they apply for asylum. I think it makes it look more legitimate. It makes it look more like, look, this person came here with a plan. They must have legitimately been fleeing their country and thinking, I'm going to go seek safety and apply for asylum, as opposed to someone who applies at like month 11, where it's like, oh, the person heard about the 1-year filing deadline. That's why they threw in their asylum application at the last minute. So I think the sooner the better. Also, you get your work permit sooner. Okay? The sooner you apply for asylum, the sooner you get your work permit, your EAD, Employment Authorization Document. All right? Leo says, grateful heart for the wonderful work you're doing. I sincerely appreciate your updates. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, Leo. He says, my question is, does pending asylum affect a pending family-based person of a married child of a USC? I think I understand your question. I'm going to approach it like this. The question is this. Will having an asylum case pending affect a green card case that is pending based on a family relationship? Like, let's say someone has applied for you to get a green card based on, let's say, a marriage, or based on another family relationship, like your sibling who is a U.S. citizen, or child or parent. So the answer is no. That green card case will not affect your asylum case in any way, neither negatively nor positively. It has no impact on whether you're going to win asylum. If you end up getting the green card through the family-based process at that moment, it's safe to close your asylum case, or to withdraw your claim and say, I got my green card. I don't need asylum anymore. I want to close my case. I want to withdraw my case. But don't do that unless and until you get that green card through the other process in your hand. Don't withdraw asylum until you get that green card. Okay? All right. All right. Raheem Denver says, I used your videos on YouTube. Says, I use your videos all the time, and you're a very good lawyer. Thank you for the kind words. Very kind of you. I appreciate it. Where should I apply for asylum? Is the question. So yeah, the question is this: where should you apply for asylum? If you want to seek asylum in the United States, where should you do that? Listen, everyone knows that. Most people know that asylum rates vary significantly by region, by place in the United States. Overall, California is the best state in which to be an asylum seeker. High approval rates, especially in the north of California, which is under the jurisdiction of the San Francisco Asylum Office. Usually that office has the highest approval rate of all the offices in the country. Los Angeles in the south southern part of California is pretty good as well. It's one of the best. But listen, it goes by where you live. You don't get to choose. So you apply, and they assign your case to the office that covers the area you live in. But if you want to move to California before applying, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. In fact, probably a good idea. But you got to actually move there. Okay? Don't commit immigration fraud. It would be fraudulent to just say, oh, I heard California has good approval rates. San Francisco, that's where I want to have my case. So I'm going to make up an address, or use my friend's address and pretend it's my own, or rent an address there and use that as my address. Don't do that. That would be immigration fraud. Okay. Tell the truth. Be open and honest in everything that you do. Honesty is the best policy. Okay. It's the right thing to do, but I also think honestly that strategically it's the smartest thing to do as well. Okay. So be honest. Don't commit immigration fraud by lying about your address to try to take advantage of high approval rates. Okay. All right. Nice. Ali Reza Garib says, thanks, Brian. I became your client after consultation. Looking forward to thank you after winning my case right here. Nice. Awesome. Great to see a client on here. Thank you. Thanks for joining, and we look forward to presenting the strongest case possible. All right. Hey, Ong on Facebook says, I'm from Burma. My asylum application's pending almost 2 years. End of the month, I'm moving to Chicago. Does my office or contacts change? Well, it depends where you're living now. Good question, but to your point, I don't really see the end of the question. But I'm gonna address it like this. The question is this: what happens when your asylum case is pending already with an asylum office for a long time, like let's say a year or two, and then you move from one state to another and from the jurisdiction of one asylum office into the jurisdiction of another? Let's say you move from New York, where your case is with the New York asylum office, to Chicago, where your case, what happens to your case? It's going to be transferred automatically from New York to Chicago, from the New York asylum office to the Chicago asylum office. You don't have a choice. When you do the change of address notification, what they call Form AR11, when you notify USCIS of your change of address through this mechanism, they automatically transfer your case. You don't have a choice, okay? Doesn't matter whether your case has been pending with the asylum office for 2 days or 2 years. Doesn't matter how long it has been pending, they'll transfer it. How will that affect your wait times? How long you're going to have to wait for the interview? Impossible to predict. Impossible to predict. Don't move or not move based on that. Just live where you want to live. Okay. Any office or contacts in Chicago? Oh, like, you mean, do we have an office in Chicago? Oh, yeah. Good question. So the question is this: do we have an office in Chicago? No, but listen, it doesn't matter. We help people all over the country. So listen, my law firm, Political Asylum Lawyers, we're based in Houston, Texas, but it doesn't matter. We help people everywhere, all over the United States, okay? Even for people in Texas, we do not do in-person consultations. We don't do the case development, like the building of the case and the preparation of everything. We don't do any of that in person, even for people who live in Texas, okay? We do some things in person at the end of the case sometimes for like hearings and some asylum interviews. But all of the rest up to that is virtual. We do it through video conference and telephone and stuff. So it doesn't matter where you live. We have lots of clients in Chicago, lots. I love Chicago, by the way. So it doesn't matter where you live. We can help you anywhere in the United States. To get started, schedule a consultation. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com, and schedule a consultation now. Okay? We've helped a lot of people from Burma. Pretty sure to date, we've won every single case from Burma. Pretty sure. Again, past performance does not guarantee future results. By the way, people do lose cases from Burma. They shouldn't really, based on what's going on there, but it happens. Okay. So you have to put together a good case. Even though you're from Burma, you might be thinking, oh, because of the conditions there, I should easily win my case. Unfortunately, it's not like that. A lot of good people, a lot of deserving people end up losing their case, both at the asylum office and in immigration court, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't prepare properly. They don't present the case well on paper. You need to do a great job to give yourself the best possible chance for asylum success. By the way, I was talking earlier about Mandamus lawsuits. There's a question about this. So the question is, how much do you charge for a Mandamus lawsuit? The question is this. So how much does my law firm charge to sue the government to force your stalled asylum case forward? So listen, we love doing this. We've been doing it a ton recently with great success. This is a powerful tool, this Mandamus lawsuit or asylum delay lawsuit. Listen, our fees are going to go up in January, okay? But at the time that I'm making this live, doing this show, if you want our help just with suing the government and not with the rest of your underlying asylum case, just trying to get your interview through the lawsuit, we charge $6,500. If you want our help with that, plus with actually trying to win your underlying asylum case, and doing our 3-step asylum action plan to try to give you the best possible chance and actually represent you in your case, your asylum case that is, then I believe right now it's $9,900. Okay. Our fees are going up in January. Right now we're offering a discount of $500 only in December. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com to schedule a consultation now. So listen, we've got a $500 discount going on for this Mandamus service, this asylum delay lawsuit. Okay, $500 discount only through the end of the year. Okay, all right, just through the rest of the year, then it goes away, and our fees are actually going up. All right, so in January. So let's talk now. All right. It's me who cares on YouTube. Says, don't you attend to asylum seekers in Canada? Nope. We are U.S. My law firm has U.S. asylum lawyers. We just do U.S. asylum, just U.S. asylum. A lot of the rules are going to be similar to the rules in Canada, but they're not exactly the same. Okay. We've got Crazy Gamer says, morning, I wanted to ask you a question. If I do asylum in Virginia alone as a minor, 17, can my parents come later with my sister without doing an invitation, since that will take long? Thanks for the question. The question is this. Once you win asylum, can you then petition or make a request to bring your parents and siblings, like your brother and sister, here to the United States since you have won asylum? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Asylum does not allow you to bring your parents here or brothers and sisters. It only allows you to bring to the United States your spouse and any children who were under age 21 when you applied for asylum and remain unmarried through the time that they would actually end up coming here. Okay, asylum does not allow you to bring your parents or siblings. Okay. Further down the line, when your immigration status gets bumped up, you can do that. But as an asylee, someone who's been granted asylum, no, unfortunately, that's not a benefit. There's no way to bring them here based on that. Okay. In fact, it can make it tough, honestly, because actually, I'll stop there. Yeah, I'll stop there. So yeah, sorry to not have better news on that, Crazy Gamer, but I wish you good luck. Question from Shukrula Shirzad says, my asylum interview passed 2 years ago, but the application is still pending. What should I do? Here's the question. What can you do if you've been waiting for a long time after your asylum interview to get your decision? So you had your interview already a long time ago, but you're just waiting and no decision. What can you do? Listen, if it's like a few weeks or a month, email the asylum office, call them, do that 2 or 3 or 4 times until they finally respond. They're probably just going to say, oh, it's processing. We'll get it to you when we're done with the, finalizing the decision. Or, oh, security checks are pending. We'll get it to you once they're done. Basically a non-answer, or at least not a helpful answer. Here's the thing. If you applied for asylum 3 or more years ago, you may be in a position to sue the government using a Mandamus lawsuit, an asylum delay lawsuit, to force them to give you a decision. That's right. This lawsuit works not just for forcing an interview, but also for forcing a decision after the interview. The relevant time is not the time between your interview and now. It's the time between when you applied and now. If that time is at least 3 years, you might be in a position for success with this lawsuit to force your decision. Okay? If you want to talk about that, guys, we've been doing this a ton lately, this Mandamus lawsuit, to force the interview, but also to force the decision after the interview. And we're actually offering a discount of $500 on this service, this asylum delay lawsuit service, through the end of the year. A $500 discount only through the end of the year. It goes away after that. To talk about it, to see if we think that we're in a position to maybe help you with this, go to winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. And that's where you can schedule an asylum strategy session with one of my teammates. Actually, right now, I don't usually do consultations myself, but right now, I've got a few spots on my calendar that I've opened up to do consultations. With me, there is a fee. Right now it's $350. If I do any in the new year, it's going to be $450. But right now it's $350. It's free with my colleagues right now. With my asylum professional colleagues, it's free and they're awesome. They're really good at what they do. They're going to treat you great. You're going to be in great hands with them. We want to talk with you. We want to see if we think that we can help you to increase your chances for success, to help you secure your future in America through asylum. We're limited in these spots. There's not a lot of spots left on our calendars right now. If you want to talk, go to winasylum.com and schedule that now. Okay, there's not a lot of spots open right now. Not a lot of spots that are left open. Narendra Giawali, sorry for the mispronunciation, says hello. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right. Nabil Nazir says, hello, sir. I have a pending asylum application. I have a travel document. Can I visit a different country other than my country of origin for a quick visit? Will re-entering the U.S. trigger any bars at the port of entry? Good question. The question is this. Can you leave the United States and expect to get back in when you return to be let back in if you have a travel document? Like, let's say you've got an asylum case pending and you apply for and receive this document called an advance parole document. The purpose of it is to allow you to travel and be let back in. The problem is there's no guarantee they're going to let you back in. Even having this document does not guarantee it. Now, before Trump, I'll say that, yeah, it's quite safe to do so. Don't go back to your home country, right? If you have an asylum case pending, you should not go back to your home country. That will mess up your asylum case. But a lot of my lawyer friends are saying their advice to their clients is like, look, from January 20th, I wouldn't leave. If you want to get back, if you want to stay here and apply for asylum, I wouldn't leave. Trump might not let people back in, even with this document. I think I agree. I think it's best not to travel unless it's an absolute emergency once Trump is in office. Okay? Which is tough. I know that's tough. I know it's really tough, but yeah, I think I agree. Narendra, Los Angeles Asylum Office, 3 years waiting for the interview. Can you do the lawsuit? Listen, unfortunately, for my law firm right now, we're saying 5 for Los Angeles. We're saying 5 for Los Angeles. That's the only asylum office in the country where we're saying we think you need to wait 5 years before suing. All the other offices, we're having success at 3 years. That's the minimum. But Los Angeles, yeah, 5. We're saying 5. Okay. Or is it solo? Excuse me. Good question. So, Asterisk Alliance says, for the asylum office interview, does the lawyer go with the client, or kind of like an immigration court, or is the applicant alone, kind of like the visa interview? Good question. Question is this. Can the asylum lawyer go with you to your asylum interview? The answer is yes, they can. They can go with you. So a lot of you have done visa interviews abroad where you didn't probably have a lawyer with you. And even if you had a lawyer, some of the embassies and consulates don't allow lawyers to even be in the consulate, in the consular section. They don't allow them at the interview, the visa interview. The asylum office, yes, they allow lawyers, and a lawyer can make a big difference, okay? A lawyer can ensure that the communication flows well, that there's no misunderstandings. A lawyer gets to make a short statement at the end to sort of summarize and explain the case and address anything that we think needs to be addressed so the officer understands your case. Just having a lawyer in the room often helps the officer to act more professionally and do a better job. There's lots of ways that having a lawyer with you, I think, can help to increase your chances for success. Okay. So yeah, that's good news. All right. Nice. How do you, so Harshidabin, sorry for the mispronunciations. How can you convince the judge about future persecution from the government? Good question. So the question is this. How do you convince the asylum officer or judge that you're going to be persecuted in the future, that you're at real risk of future persecution? Well, listen, first of all, if you've been harmed or threatened in the past, you definitely want to talk about that. And you want to make sure they really understand how grave it was. And you want to use any threats that suggest that someone still wants to hurt you in the future. You want to point to any circumstances whatsoever that show that, yeah, there's someone out there that wants to hurt me. They have in asylum law what's called the inclination to harm you gravely, to persecute you. Now, listen, you can win asylum without that, actually, just by showing that you fit the profile of people who are being persecuted in your country on a grand scale because of this characteristic that you share. Like maybe you're a member of a certain religious or ethnic minority that's widely persecuted. Well, you want to show that your group is being persecuted widely, okay? How do you do that on the second part about, showing that a group that you're a part of is being persecuted? Well, you do that with what we call country conditions information. Reports from credible organizations like governments that do reports, like human rights reports, non-governmental organizations, also news articles, things that just basically show, look, what's going on in your country indicates that someone like you would be at risk, and here's why. And the why must be because you possess one of the 5 protected characteristics under U.S. asylum law: your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or something called membership in a particular social group. And that's something, this showing that there is what's called a pattern or practice of persecution of similarly situated persons to you in your country. That's something that a lawyer can really help you with. That's where we add huge value, I believe, to our clients' asylum cases, is through the legal brief that we produce, where we apply the facts to the law, and we use a lot of country conditions information to show that, look, you are at risk and you meet the requirements for asylum. Okay. What are the chances for winning asylum? And is there a chance that if you win asylum or do asylum next month, Trump could go in and cancel your asylum? Good question. So the questions are this: what are the chances of winning asylum in the United States? And then second, if you win asylum, is Trump just going to take it away, cancel it? So listen, approval rates are low, even under Biden, even historically under Obama they were as well, and Trump last time. Approval rates for asylum are low, okay? At the asylum office, they're under like 30%. At the immigration courts, they're a little bit higher, I think in the mid-30s last time I saw, so they're low, all right? If you win asylum, is Trump going to take it away? I don't think so. I've not heard him or his people say that they're going to go and strip asylee status from people. There may be more cases where they do that at the green card stage. When someone applies for a green card after winning asylum, they look at all of your universe of case information, and they try to look for inconsistencies to say, oh, it looks like you lied, you committed fraud, therefore we're going to strip your asylum from you and deport you. That already happens. It'll probably happen more under Trump. But generally speaking, like, are you just, is your average person going to be at risk of having asylum taken away? I don't think so. Maybe that's naive, hopeful, but I don't think so. Diego Alves says, can the immigration judge cancel your final hearing, your individual hearing? Yeah, I mean, they get canceled all the time for like no reason or no apparent reason. It doesn't necessarily mean there's something bad or a problem with your case, but they should reschedule it. You can ask them to reschedule it if they haven't, okay? Asterisk Alliance, when's your next live stream? What's the schedule for the live stream? There is no schedule right now. In the new year, though, there will be. I'll be talking about it. I'll be putting it on all over social media about like what the schedule will be starting in the new year. Okay. All right. Ali Mudede says, have you worked on a case on Tigray? If so, would like to reach out to you. Absolutely. Yeah. We've helped a lot of people from the Horn of Africa. We've had a lot of clients from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia. We know these cases well. We know all about Tigray's. We know about Oromo situation. We've had a lot of success with these cases. So yeah, we should talk. Okay, Alema, we should talk. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com, WINASYLUM.com. Ooh, good question. Observator says, will the new administration eliminate or restrict the rights of asylum seekers from asylum seekers? The question is this: is Donald Trump going to make it harder for members of the LGBTQ plus community to win asylum? So listen, right now, if you're persecuted because of your sexual orientation, this counts as persecution on account of what we call membership in a particular social group. Like court decisions have said, yeah, that persecution because of that counts as persecution that is motivated by the fact that you possess a protected ground. That protected ground under the law is called membership in a particular social group. So the bottom line is it is a valid basis on which you can get asylum. Is Trump going to take that away? I don't think so. I don't think so. There's going to be a lot of things that his administration does with interpretation that is going to limit whole classes and make it impossible for whole classes to get asylum, whole classes of people, groups of people. I don't think it's going to happen with the LGBTQ plus community. Hopefully. Maybe I'm naive on that, but I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be possible. Okay. By the way, listen, I do think that it's going to be harder to win asylum under Trump, and I think that the approval rate is going to go down. I think denials are going to go up over time. Like with every single month that passes, I think it'll probably become increasingly hard to win asylum under the second Trump administration. So listen, I think you should move forward now, okay? If you've been thinking about applying, you should apply now. You want to get this is true even just generally, even not considering Trump. In general, I think you want to have your asylum claim heard and get a decision as soon as possible. With Trump, it's even more urgent, okay? You want to have your asylum claim heard as soon as possible, all right? Before I believe it's going to get harder and harder as time goes by, that with every passing month, there's going to be new policies in place and just a stronger anti-immigrant environment that makes it harder to win asylum. So act now, apply now, and listen, if your case has been pending for multiple years, you should really consider suing the government to force USCIS to give you your asylum interview so you can win your case, get certainty about your future, move on with your life with confidence about your safety and your ability to stay in the United States and to build the life here that you want to build, okay? And speaking of those lawsuits, we're actually offering a $500 discount, but it's just through the end of the year, okay? That goes away on January 1st. We're offering this $500 discount only on these asylum delay lawsuits, not on other case types, just on asylum delay lawsuits. So if you've been waiting for multiple years, now is the time. The Trump effect makes it such that you want to move your case forward sooner rather than later, okay? We should talk. To do that, to schedule a consultation with us, go to winasylum.com. It's WINASYLUM.com. I want to talk. All right? Go to winasylum.com. That's actually it for today. Got to wrap it up. I'm Brian Manning, and my law firm is based in Houston, but we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live, okay? You can talk with us by scheduling a consultation, what we call an asylum strategy session, where we're going to go deep with you. This is long. This is not a 10-minute talk. This is a 50-minute talk where we go deep. We want to really get to understand you and your situation, your case, go through a pretty deep analysis with you so that we can really tell you whether we think we're in a position to help you. And if so, we're going to explain how. We're going to explain in detail the steps that we're going to take to try to give you the best possible chance to win your case, to secure your future in America through asylum. All right? That's it, guys. Have a good night. Until next time, I'm Brian Manning, and it's truly an honor to